Frank's already up.
I'm already standing.
What's going on?
Nope, it's good. Okay, we'll go ahead and start the regular session of the Isabella County Board of Commissioners. And for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Galzinski. Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope. All present, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Up next will be approval of the agenda. We'll have general public comments, and then under presentations, special reports, we'll have the millage requests that we talked about in the work session. Appointments to boards and commissions will approve and place on file the consent agenda. And then committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee.
And the Administration Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
And Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Human Resources and Public Works Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator controller issues, no unfinished business. Under new business, we'll have motions for the county medical examiner report, public hearing on the proposed 2025 budget, and special meeting for the L 4029 for the winter tax levy, and then general public comment and announcements and adjournment. So with that, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move, Marino.
Or.
Moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. We have an agenda. Which brings us to general public comment. Is there anyone for general public comment? We turned your mic off.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening. I just wanted to take the second public comment opportunity to comment on the rebuilding of the county building at 200 North Main. I read in the paper, and I know it's been discussed, that the third floor is looking to become a white box or storage space. As a tenant of the third floor previously, our office occupied the entire east half of the third floor. And candidly, as a taxpayer in the community as well, as somebody that's utilized the space, I think it would be a shame, regardless of the additional cost, to get that project 2/3 of the way done. I don't, maybe there's other plans that I'm not aware of that I haven't been privy to, but I think it would be an awful waste to not finish that process. We certainly don't anticipate building costs to come down in the future. And as somebody that uses that space, I really don't know how we would fit somewhere else in that building. Again, maybe there's things that I've not been made aware of as far as who's going to occupy what space. But I did want to at least express some concerns about sharing space with the Department of Corrections. I think it obviously creates conflict issues to have the prosecutor's office and the Department of Corrections and parolees on the same floor, sharing waiting rooms, et cetera. Could get dicey and awkward. And candidly, I also wanted to express some security concerns about potentially being on the garden floor. Again, I think that without, our prior office did have some bulletproof glass in the waiting room, but there's no bulletproof glass in the building as it currently is. And I think it poses a tremendous security risk to the prosecutor's office to have that on the ground floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for general public comment? Okay, seeing no one else. Brings us to the presentations and special reports, and these items A through D, we're going to start right down here and come right down the row. So Commissioner Engler, would you present item A for
Sure.
us?
Fiscal year 2025 budget millage, Commission on Aging. The motion reads, move to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for the Isabella County Commission on Aging at 1 mil.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for the Commission on Aging. Discussion.
Yeah, so we had Jen Crawford come in and speak on the budget that she was proposing on the millage, and the millage has passed by the voters of the county.
Very good. Any further discussion, questions on that? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler?
Yes.
Commissioner Marino?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Embry? Commissioner Jazinski? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Clerk. And Commissioner Swaney, would you do item B for us, please?
Fiscal year 2025 budget millage medical care facility. Motion reads, move to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for the Isabella County Medical Care Facility at 1 mil.
It's been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for medical care facility. Discussion.
The Director Alyssa Hannick and their accountant come to discuss the budget for this year, and because of facility upgrades required in the future, they require the full 1 mil millage.
Very good. Any other discussion, questions on that item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Engler?
Yes.
Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Swaney? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item C, Commissioner Embry.
Yes, fiscal year 2025 budget millage, Parks and Recreation. Motion reads, move to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for Isabella County Parks and Recreation at 0.35 of 1 mil. Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for Parks and Recreation. Discussion.
Director Hanson joined us earlier during our work session and outlined why she would need the 0.35 of 1 mil for operations for the Isabella County Parks and Recreation. And I fully support everything that she's done over there at Parks and Recreation. I think she's most deserving of the 0.35.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embry?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Engler?
Yes.
Commissioner Marino?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Clerk.
Item is the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for the Transportation Commission. Motion reads, move to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for Isabella County Transportation Commission at 0.8620 of 1 mil.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget millage for Transportation Commission. Discussion.
So the county voters did approve the renewal, as they did for 3 of the 4 millages we're looking at tonight. And these millages have been the same for a number of years, and I think the justification for the requests are good. Fair.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Jazinski?
Yes.
Commissioner Engler?
Yes.
Commissioner Marino?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson? Commissioner Embry? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have no appointments to boards or commissions. Consent agenda. Commissioner Embry, would you present that for us? please,
Certainly.
sir?
Motion reads, move to approve and place on file the August 6th, 2024 work session meeting minutes, the August 6th, 2024 regular meeting minutes, the August 13th, 2024 Finance and Administration Committee meeting minutes, the August 13th, 2024 Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee meeting minutes, and the August 13th, 2024 Human Resources and Public Works Committee meeting minutes.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve and place on file the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Very good. Brings us to committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee. Thank you.
Here. First item of business is the August 2nd, 2024 invoice list, August 9th, 2024 invoice list, and the August 15th, 2024 adjustment list. Motion reads. Move to ratify and place on file the August 2nd, 2024 invoice list in the amount of $473,884.09. The August 9th, 2024 invoice list in the amount of $2,134,819.59. And the adjustment list dated August 15th, 2024.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to ratify and place on file the August 2nd invoice list, the August 9th invoice list, and the August 15th adjustment list. Discussion.
So all these invoices proposed for payment have been reviewed a number of times by department heads, administration, finance, and finance committee, and by this committee as a whole at our work session this evening. And there were not any questions on any of the bills that exceed or equal to or exceed 5,000 or any of the smaller bills, nor on the adjustment list, which modifies the two invoice lists for some minor changes.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson? Commissioner Embry? Commissioner Jazinski? Commissioner Hope?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
All right, the second item, Finance and Administration Committee is the prime contract change order number 24. Motion reads, move to approve prime contract change order number 24 with Clark Construction and the net additional amount of $19,728 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve prime contract change order number 24. Discussion.
We had Senior Project Manager Heidi Heinz Kindle join us to let us know that what the items were that were being changed. I do want to point out, gentlemen, that these items that were on that list were not on the drawings. So people are wondering why some of these things that were being charged for. As we've been attending meetings with Clark Construction, majority of the reasons why we have all these prime contract change orders is because they weren't on the drawings. So I just want to preface that. So if you have questions, we could talk about it afterwards, but I think people need to understand that these prime contract change orders are not the fault of Clark Construction. Okay, so I just want to point that out. All of the $19,728 comes from buyout, which leaves us $31,630 with a untouched contingency of $781,774, and we are over 85% complete.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Embry?
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski?
Yes.
Commissioner Engler? Commissioner Hope?
Yes.
0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Our third item is the intergovernmental agreement template. Motion reads, move to approve the intergovernmental agreement template between Isabella County on behalf of the Isabella County Register of Deeds and Isabella County local units of government to implement a digital delivery of deeds system and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the intergovernmental agreement template. Discussion.
So we did privatize our equalization office this year with Preston Community Services. And that has necessitated some changes that put more responsibilities back on the townships and local units of taxing authorities. And part of that is to prepare and mail out the tax documents. And there's been some problems in dealing with are the addresses right? If it gets sent to a wrong address, it comes back and it delays the taxes. And it can be frustrating, and it can be additional work for these local units of government. So what this template seeks to do is provide direct access to the register of deeds documents. So everybody can be working from the same page, but does protect the register of deeds income flow for copies of these documents, because by law, these documents belong to the register of deeds office, and there is a fee assessed for physical copies, I think $1 per page. So while the townships and local municipalities will have direct access for the assessment equalization process, they'll need to protect that income flow for the register of deeds. And I think it's a great agreement between all the parties to address an issue that we can put aside then.
Very, very good. Yes, sir.
I think it's important to note it. As we move into the future, this allows us to be much more efficient, much more accurate, and to be able to get our revenues into the county in the best possible way. And it does, I do want to make sure I would point this out. It does fall in line with the Sweeney principle that we've generally adopted, the unwritten rule. So again, I want to point that out, being more nimble and more efficient. So thank you.
Agree 100% with that. It will make us more efficient in our equalization. And it saves us money. 2024, the amended budget for equalization was $373,962. For 2025, recommended budget is $269,514. So a savings of $4,000. And it'll make that, as Commissioner Embry pointed out, that whole process more efficient. Any other discussion on that? Yes.
I would just say, I think that shows that Preston Community Services is willing to step up too in this transition and do what they can. You know, Mr. Preston brought this issue forward to us to be able to be nimble. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great sign.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Do we need to bring the Sweeney principle before the county board for consideration, adoption, formal?
We need a
so.
resolution.
I think we've all adopted that informally. Other discussion on hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
And that,
Chairman, that completes the Finance and Administration Committee work for this evening.
thank you, Commissioners. Brings us down to Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have one item on there. It's a net source one quote. The motion reads, move to approve the net source one quote in the amount of $159,367.50 for technology needs at the Isabella County Sheriff Office and Correction Facility, and authorize board chairperson to sign the same. Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the net source one quote. Discussion.
Yes, this is a budgeted item. It's needed probably to get the IT in there. It contains hardware, which is switches, cables, racks. And it also, they will also integrate the systems, put firewalls in there, do programming and testing. So it's just the next system to get all that working.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the work of the Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Commissioners, Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Our first item is the 2024-2025 King Media Campaign Contract. The motion reads, move to approve the 2024-2025 media campaign contract between Isabella County and King Media in the amount of $49,990 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the 2024-25 King Media Campaign Contract discussion.
Yeah, the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency approved the County Veterans Service Fund, CVSF grant for Isabella County in the amount of $78,578 for the fiscal year 2024. The fiscal year 2024 grant contract, including outreach using King Media Advertising Company as a way to connect with veterans. The advertising will run from October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025 and cost a total of $49,990. When Ian presented this material to us not to me, but to the committee, I watched it on YouTube and I was quite amazed, like TV on your gas tank, and it's just amazing how they use things these days. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out because I really usually find them annoying and don't even pay attention to them at all, but I am a veteran, but
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, second item, Wade Promotion Contract. Motion reads, move to approve the contract between Wade Promotion and Isabel County in the amount of $19,800 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
support.
Been moved and supported to approve the Wade Promotions contract discussion.
This was also presented us by Ian, and this is the rolling billboards on all the ICTC trucks where they're using local people in the advertisement, and just trying to get the word out for the vets, and it's been working really well. A lot of positive comments on it.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embry,
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski.
Yes.
Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, our next and final item is individual service contract for bulk meal delivery. The motion reads, move to approve the individual service contract for bulk meal delivery dated August 12th, 2024 between Isabella County on behalf of the Commission on Aging and Darrell Lewis Cummings, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the individual services contract for bulk meal delivery discussion.
Yeah, this is kind of the backbone of making sure that seniors in this county get food. And the person is a volunteer, and Darrell Lewis Cummings. The contract covers delivery of bulk food to the various Food with Friends nutrition sites throughout Isabella County. And the contract reimbursement rate is based on the length of the route and can range between 42 and 47 per route. And I'm really glad we have this. There's a lot of services that the Commission on Aging does, but I also want to point out that sometimes it really helps if some person drops in on some of these households because they might be really isolated or sick or anything like that. So it's a really lot of bang for the buck.
Yep. Any other discussion? And hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Embry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
Our nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Clerk,
That completes the work of the Human Resources and Public Works Committee, Mr. Chair.
thank you, commissioners. We have no intergovernmental affairs or administrator controller issues or unfinished business. So that brings us down to new business. And we have three motions there. I'd like to start at this end of the table this time and we'll work our way this way. So Commissioner Marino, would you present item A there under
Okay.
new business?
Item A is the 2023 annual report from the county medical examiner. The motion reads, move to accept and place on file 2023 annual report from the county medical examiner.
Support.
Supported to accept and place on file the 2023 annual report from the county medical examiner. Discussion.
Yes, the county has taken this out to the hospital in Lansing, who's now affiliated with the University of Michigan. And what the report is the deaths and the reasons why, suicide, whatever. And that's what we saw today at the previous meeting.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Clerk.
Okay, our second item, public hearing and fiscal year 2025 proposed budget. Motion reads, move to schedule the public hearing on the fiscal year 2025 proposed budget beginning at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as it may be heard on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024 as a hybrid meeting in person and electronic at the Isabel County Commission on Aging 2200 South Lincoln Road, Mount Pleasant, Michigan. 40.
Support.
Been moved and supported to schedule the public hearing on the fiscal year 2025 proposed budget discussion.
Well, this reported on by Administrator Frost and letting us know where we stand and where the budget looks for the next year. Do we have to stay with that date, or are there a couple things that we need to clear up before that?
We should stay with the date of September 3rd for the public hearing, because on the county's budget calendar, you need to adopt your budget legally by the end of September, which is generally your second meeting in September unless you were to call a special meeting. So the adoption is scheduled for that second meeting in September, which would be the 17th. Now, in the past, we've held the public hearing on the same night as budget adoption, which doesn't leave a lot of time for meaningful consideration of any public comment given. So now we've added that couple weeks into the budget calendar. So I would say sticking with your next meeting in 2 weeks is probably the best bet. Now, we will still have a discussion about budget at Finance Tuesday. Maybe we wouldn't have normally, but enough came out tonight in the discussion that we'll have some more Tuesday at Finance for sure. Does that help?
Yes.
Does, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
The next item is Isabella County Board of Commissioners special meeting. Motion reads, move to schedule an Isabella County Board of Commissioners special meeting for the purpose of considering a revised L 4029 for the winter tax levy on Wednesday, November 6, 2024 at 5:30 PM as a hybrid meeting, in person and electronic, at the Isabella County Commission on Aging located at 2200 South Lincoln Road, Mount Pleasant, Michigan 48858.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to schedule the Isabella County Board of Commissioners special meeting to consider the revised L 4029 discussion.
So we need to have a revised, we have on the 5th, a vote on the proposed millage for the road patrol personnel. And so if that passes, that millage will need to be included on the L 4029, which we would do then the next day, and we meet the reporting requirements required by the state.
Very good, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Embry? Commissioner Jazinski? Commissioner Engler? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Swaney? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
And that wraps up new business, brings us down to general public comments. Is there anyone for general public comment?
Or I didn't know about the 3-minute limit last time. I'll try to keep this one more in check. First thing I want to talk about hats. I've kind of given my opinion on that, so I don't need to go in detail. But if it were up to me, I would talk to Officer Marble, ask if we could close the facility to the public and just do whatever the necessary it is, things like feeding and housing of the animals that he captures there. I'm sure that there's not universal agreement on that. So what I would ask you guys to do, to consider, is to define what services we do actually need there. For example, we don't need to necessarily do spay and neuter. We don't need to do adoption, things like that. But whatever it is that we are required to do, and then compete it. Go to Dallas to the rescue, Cat Karma, others that are kind of struggling to make ends meet. Say, hey, we'll give you free rent in a facility, which they're now paying rent for. And, we'll pay you the utilities or whatever we did for hats as well. And some of them may come back and offer to do it for free, or may come back and offer to do it for much less than $100,000. So I would just ask to kind of bid that out if we can. Second thing on the COLA, Commissioner Sweeney, I appreciate that. Everybody wants a cost of living adjustment. I want a cost of living adjustment. But I would ask you guys who are responsible for the budget that I think we should not propose spending increases without finding the revenue for that. It's very easy to propose spending. I could ask for, more sheriff's deputies. I could ask for more prosecuting attorneys. I could ask for everything. That's the easy job. And unless you're the federal government to print the money, it becomes a little bit harder to pay for that. So please try to find ways to cut the spending. If we can cut a position and give people a huge increase, I'm all for that. Or cut some service and give people huge increases, all for that. Love to have people get increases, but we have to find the spending to be able to do that. Say, well, it's easy to use to say you don't work for the county. No, but my employer cut 12,000 jobs in 2023. 12,000 people, roughly, I think it was global. So maybe in the US, I don't know what it was, 6,000 or 8,000, woke up, couldn't get into the building, couldn't check their email. There was no notification. I'd email people that were my friends and get a bounce back. So, the real world, we do deal with those things as well. But if you spend without the budget, you're going to add cost to the constituents. So we paid a little over $60,000 in property taxes for some of our rental properties this summer. The property taxes go up. I mean, I'm obviously not filthy rich. So the rents are going to go up. The rents are going to go up, cost of living goes up, and it just kind of becomes this cycle. So we have to, I believe, live within the budget that we have, or that butterfly flapping its wings, going and finding additional money, taking it from someplace else is just going to keep coming back and continuing to grow. So please live within the budget that we have. Please, please, please. My greatest fear, not my greatest fear, but one of the fears, we have this new millage for the sheriff's department that's coming up. We heard the prosecuting attorney, maybe we should have a prosecuting attorney millage. Then maybe we need to have a judge millage. Then we need to have a MRF millage. Then we need to have a millage and a millage and a millage and a millage. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And I can't speak for all the constituents, but I don't want it to grow. But it's always easy to spend when you can borrow. So please don't propose spending without revenue if possible. The last thing is the sheriff. And I want to say, I didn't know Sheriff Maine until recently, and now it seems like we bump into each other everywhere. The fairgrounds, the township meeting, everything, and have grown to respect and admire him greatly. So what I'm going to say here, I don't want to reflect anything on him. If you saw the earlier public comments, you realize that he probably should have a double increase in his salary with what he has to deal with. So, but I'm also a numbers guy. So there's something that didn't make sense to me. I'm going to run through it. I'm going to go a little fast because I know I've only got 3 minutes. Administrator Frost and Deputy Administrator Franquist, if you can kind of double check my numbers. I know you can't obviously respond, but was trying to understand before we proposed the millage increase, what it would be. And we said in Q4 that the amount that we had to add to Q4 to cover the road patrol was $550,000. And I think Deputy Sweeney kind of pinged on that 2 weeks ago when he said, wait, $550,000. So if there's 4 of them, that would be what? That'd be 2.2 million. But the millage is levying 3.7 if it's the full millage. Now, I haven't heard anybody saying that we weren't going to levy the full millage. So I'm assuming that we are going to try to pull the full 3.7, but it doesn't really line up with if Q4 spending for the road patrol was 550,000, then 4 quarters would be 4 of that, which would be 2.2 million. And another metric, just to kind of throw something out there, if you look on page 20 of the budget, under the public safety, the sheriff, I'll let you turn to that real quickly, but under the sheriff, you add up the sheriff and the road patrol, which I think is actually the second road patrol. I've been becoming educated in this as we go along. The spending in 2023 was approximately 4.1 million. Okay. And then in 2024, the spending was 7.2 million. And that was the time when I was very upset with our sheriff until I realized that that's the pass through for the tower. So it really wasn't 7.2. He didn't go and screw up. He's done a good job as he always has. So if you take off the roughly 3 million for the tower, then the entire amount for the sheriff in 2023, or 2024, which included the road patrol and all the sheriff, was roughly 4.2 million. And then if we look in 2025, that budget's obviously decreased because all the road patrol has gone off to a separate millage, presumably. That's 2.2 million. But I believe that there's still a 550,000 in there. So the actual residual of that is 1.7. So let's call the sheriff's department without road patrol budget in 2025, 1.7 million. And then if we have the 3.7 millage that comes in and add up the 1.7 and the 3.7, we get to 5.4 million. And so we had in 2023, 4.1, in 2024, 4.2, and then proposed in 2025 is 5.4, which is a 28% increase. Not necessarily opposed to that if there's some reason and justification, but as kind of an analytical numbers type person, I haven't been able to explain that, why that increase was there. Again, Sheriff, please don't get upset with me. I love you to death, and I mean that seriously. So I'm not picking on you, just a numbers thing that I haven't been able to figure out yet. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for general public comment? Hearing nothing else. Announcements, commissioners, any announcement? No announcements. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved and supported. 8:12. Thank you.
That was a wild and woolly day to come.